as a very broken-minded character. Because when he was a 6-year-old boy, he came to the Caribbean with his mother, and they were attacked by a group of pirates, and he had to watch his mother be shot in the head right in front of him.
Not fun.
That leaves him very twisted in the mind, as everybody can understand, I think. So we jump into the second level of the game. We use the first level as a tutorial and also to kick off the storyline. Because in the first level, Christopher and his kind of father figure, Marcus, they are living on an island. Marcus saved Christopher and raised him back then. And then they are attacked by a Spanish ship crew. And during the fight of that attack, which we use as a tutorial, Christopher hears the name of Captain Neville, who is the person who shot his mother, and that starts off the event in his head, like he's starting that vendetta. For him, what you see now is pictures inside of his head that hunt him, the inner demon is hunting him. And for him, the only way to gain peace for his soul is to kill those crew, those members of the crew. So now he's heading for Port Royal because he heard that there's a guy living that has more information about Captain Neville and his crew of Devil's Tide. And Christopher he has no moral boundaries in his actions, so he's a really dark character on the edge of insanity. Really. If he needs to torture, he will do that. If he needs to kill, he'll do that without even thinking a second about it. Right. So this gives us a great opportunity to create a character, but we did implement Marcus, his father figure, as a kind of external moral system, because he tries to keep Christopher on track. So that gives us a chance to create really this kind of madman character without losing him into a total maniac. Christopher's always held back by Marcus saying, like, be aware that you don't become like the people you're chasing. Right. There's a saying I guess in Nietzsche that says when you look in the eye of a monster, be aware, don't become a monster yourself.
When you go hunting monsters.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I know it in German.
Yeah, which is probably how it was said.
Yeah. It's Nietzsche, yeah. So it's in German origin.
Yeah, that's probably how
and I think he's talking about an abyss in German in the original version, not about a monster.
Okay.
But it gives a better impression in English talking about monsters.
Yeah.
So they just arrived in Port Royal, which is like a dirty harbor city in the Caribbean, full of pirates and some really shady figures and all that stuff. And what we can show here is that the developing team has done a great job creating that world realistically as possible. We want the player to believe us he's in that Caribbean scenery, like that it could have looked like that. We don't know how it looked back in 1680, but we want the player to believe us that it could have been like that. So there's a lot of details you will see that put life into that scenery. There's a lot of things happening around the character all the time. Like when we walk here, there's a girl coming out, just throwing out a fist bump. It's just like these little events happening around Christopher all the time. Also, we didn't do it, or we don't do an open world game, but the levels themselves are really huge and free to explore. So we need something to guide the player a bit. We have on the one hand scripted events like the upcoming one that we use to draw the player's attention to a certain direction. We say like, look, there's something happening over there, take a look there, what's happening here. Right. Also later in the game there will be a raven that functions like a traditional GPS system. It's setting always between Christopher and his next goal to give the player guidance. Because on the one hand, it's a great thing that the player can walk around this whole town to explore it, but we don't want him to get lost because that's creating moments of frustration, which we want to avoid.
So if you're looking in the wrong direction, will this raven like circle in the?
It will circle and show you the right direction to where you're going. Also, if there are enemies around the raven, will warn you with a screaming. Okay. Now we encounter 3 Spanish guys the fighting system in that stage is really, really early. So they're right now working on motion capturing and implementing a free flow fighting system like in Batman or Assassin's Creed.
Right.
But we did it here to show you the style of fighting we are naming. Christopher's fighting mirrors like his soul. He's very straight in the face, very brutal. You will see he takes no fancy kung fu stuff or something. It's just straight going forward at your enemy.
Slice, slice, slice.
Oh, you're hanging in the bush again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's really the hitboxes are not thick yet, and all that.
Nice. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, but that's his character. I mean, he's really a madman on a chase for revenge, and that's what I said. That style of fighting really gives a good impression of the character Christopher Raven.
Yeah.
And there's one of those details here. That guy who partied too long yesterday. And if you take a look down here, you see just how huge that city is. So that's what I said, we need to guide the player a bit. You can even walk to that lighthouse over there and explore everything. Also, Christopher's able to use his environment to kill his enemies, like those exploding barrels. Did you see he threw away the pistol?
Yes.
That's why we said it. He has only one good hand, and it's a one-shot pistol. How is he supposed to reload that pistol? He's not able to do that, so he simply throws them away, and he needs to grab a new one. He needs to find new ones. You always see the amount of pistols left on the back of the characters, which gives us the opportunity to have a very simple display of the game without losing the overview for the player of his abilities he has right now. I take a quick walk to the church and Gallo Post here at Port Royal. It's like I'm doing some tourist information stuff. Yeah. You like that setting with the Gallo, and we will definitely be hanging a pirate there because it would look great if somebody hung down there.
Yeah, so does he use any two-handed weapons?
No. How?
Sounds like a shotgun.
He uses his hook as a weapon really well to block and to unarm other enemies and all that stuff. And we'll jump into another level later where you can see some sneaking kills with the hook.
Very cool.
Now we found that tavern where that guy is sitting in the two on the balcony having fun. And also this like shows you that really Christopher isn't caring what's happening around him.
Right.
Just like, okay, you shot him, whatever. None of my business.
Right.
Let me get in there. Also, Port Royal, I think, was a really rough place because nobody else cares that there's somebody shot.
Right.
Now we kind of talk to that guy, and during the dialogue, the player has decisions to make. The decisions you do, they have like an outcome on the gameplay and on the storyline as well. So the storyline will change, of course, a bit. If you kill somebody, he's dead and will not show up again. But also, there is no good option to choose. It's always bad or more bad. And the more brutal the actions are that you take, the more his reputation grows. So there will be more enemies hunting him, but also in the fighting they might back up a little bit and be fearful because they know his reputation as a brutal tough guy.
Right. Is there any benefit to not going fully brutal?
No.
No.
It's simply all up to the player what he decides to do. We don't have a. We really wanted to avoid a pointing. Of course, we take a knife. Like this is simply threatening him.
Oh God, please stop! You think I'll tell you about him? All right.
feels good.
We wanted to avoid like a pointing system with dark points or light points.
Yeah.
So we want to really leave the player the full decision. So he's not like, if he chooses one direction once, trying to stay in that direction. So it's every time free in each situation. How he sees Christopher right now. It's like we want to give the player the control over Christopher in all times.
I just told her. You know, I can't tell you that. They'll kill me. They'll yes. He's mad. He consider. I have a daughter. You? Me. Me. What is this? Neville's got a new voice now. The audience is mostly retired. Mostly in the keyboard. Too much. Like killing those knives. Let's make the house. It'll be at the pink shell tonight. The pink shell, not the pink flamingo.
That makes me want to go to the Pink Flamingo.
Who had the idea of the pink flamingo? Adam? Could be. So if you choose door, he simply walks away. But it's like...
Lantern. Light a guy on fire before we leave. Cool.
So we jump into, for a few seconds, into Havana right now, which is a level later in the game. That gives you the idea.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything of Havana.
Huh?
I don't think I've seen any part of Havana.
Me neither, but I've seen that 2 days, so I know how Havana is looking. But it's like, just to show you that Havana is a totally different world than Port Royal. It's like this small colonial city, upper class.
Yeah, it looks a little rich.
Yeah, richer. And also, at this point of the game, Christopher's really wanted by his enemies. And we want him to be a realistic character, so he isn't able to fight off 40 enemies like Batman. He's just like, they would stab him and he's dead. So he needs to avoid being detected right now, and he has the ability to sneak and to hide behind items and all that stuff. We also decided to do an active sneaking system and hiding system.
Right.
And that's where the hook comes in. Gameplay really impressive.
You've got the cover system going.
So the player needs to look around, watching the patrolling guys and all that stuff. Yeah, so from our side, I think that's for now all for Ravens today. If you have any questions, feel free. Henry.
To ask someone else.
No, he's the line producer from Octane Games, which is the developing team, so he's supposed to know.
Developmentally related questions.
He's supposed to know everything.
I want to find a question that can stump you.
Right?
I want to find a question that can stump you.
I'm looking forward to that.
I don't think it's
Do that.
All right. What color socks is he wearing?
Huh?
What color socks is he wearing?
No.